So for the long weekend, a lot of people are going to be doing the road trips, and so we recommend having them do simple checks like checking their fluid, checking their tire pressures. If they need to have any repairs done, that they bring it into the shop maybe 2 weeks in advance of the road trip, just so that they could give us some more time to fix the car, order parts in, and also make sure that everything's okay before they actually go ahead and travel. The worst thing you can do is come like the day before you leave for the road trip and get a car fixed, just because you're under a lot of time crunch then for everything to fall into the right pieces, right? So we're going to look at the under the hood in terms of checking fluids and different components where they're located, and then we can talk a little bit about the tires as well. So here there's fluids that are located throughout the engine. Most people will recognize the washer fluid symbol, so that's a pretty common one. Make sure you top that up for sure while you go for the road trip, just because there's going to be probably lots of bugs while you're driving to the cottage or wherever you're headed. Brake fluid reservoir is usually located closest to the driver's side, and it will be a clear reservoir. You'll see the min and max level, so just make sure that it is that you've got the minimum level of fluid there. Now, brake fluid, just quickly, is one fluid that we don't recommend that you top up unless you are below the minimum level. It will naturally get a little bit lower, the level, just as your brakes are wearing in. Your battery is right here, and your engine oil is right here. You can see that on the engine oil cap, it has a universal sign with the oil can. Okay, and then your dipstick is to check that engine oil is right here. This particular car doesn't have a transmission fluid dipstick that we can check, so it's a sealed unit. And lastly, your coolant reservoir is right here. So you can see in the nice clear container, the max reading is over here on the side. And just make sure that it's topped up as well. Also, don't open the coolant reservoir while it's hot. There's a big symbol here that says don't open when hot, just because the cooling system is under pressure, and so you want to let the engine kind of cool down before you open it up and check it. So now I'm going to check the oil level. We pull the dipstick out, wipe it down, make sure that it's nice and clean. And what I want to see is that the oil level appear between these two notches. So this is minimum, maximum level. So once it's clean, we'll put it back in. All the way in and then straight back up. And then you'll see it's right here. So perfect. This car is good to go. So a lot of our clients ask us often, how do they know when to change their tires? And so here I've got a few tires to show you. I've got one that's worn, one, and then two that are new. So I'll talk a little bit about those ones afterwards. But here there's a worn tire, and you can see that this is a tread wear bar right here. Now they put this indicator to tell you that the tire is going to be at the minimum safety level. And so when these treads are flush with that, then that's the minimum level that is accepted by the ministry. You can see that with my gauge, it's about 4 to 5/32 of an inch thick is the tread, so that's about that high. Compared to a new tire, you'll get about 10. Okay, so honestly, you don't want to wait till the very last minute when it's flush. Just to give you perspective, 2/32 of an inch is the minimum in Ontario for the tread thickness, and you can see 2/32 of an inch really isn't a lot. So you don't want to wait till the very last minute before you change those tires. Another thing that we consider when we talk about when to change the tires is also the age of the tire. So our concern with the rubber is that with age it'll start cracking, and it's not as flexible, not as malleable anymore. It's unable to handle the heat as you're driving. One way you can tell is the tires will have a date code on it. So it will give you 4 digits at the end of this listing. Now this one says 5013, which means that this tire was made in the 50th week of 2013. Generally speaking, we say that tires last about 4 to 5 years or so. So if your tires have been, around that age, you might want to check and see when they were made, and you'll check and see if there's any kind of cracking within the treads here or along the sidewall, because we have seen tires that have blown because they were just too dry, even though the tread was really thick. In terms of these different types of tires, one of the things to consider is there's many different options for tires out there. I brought with me a few good examples of some, but to know that you have the right type of tires for the type of car that you're driving. So for example, if you're driving a vehicle that is more of a luxury premium car, you might want to fit it with an ultra high performance tire. And those tires can handle braking in wet conditions better. They're also built to handle cornering a little bit better. This is a Hankook Ventus S1 Noble 2. It is a ultra high performance tire, and you can see that it's designed differently. It's asymmetric one or the other. The tread design is not the same from this side to that side. versus this one where the tread design is the same. So there are a lot of intricate details in how they design these tires, but you would want one of these tires for a premium vehicle. That way you can have the type of drive that you're expecting from that vehicle. This is a good all-around touring type of tire for your regular vehicles, such as a Fiesta, which is what I brought with me today as well. And again, this is a Hankook Optimo H725. And I just want to quickly see if I can see that date code here, but it'll be along the sidewall as well. So these are some of the options that you have for tires. If you're going to the cottage a lot this summer, you might want to purchase a tire that can handle gravel roads as well as regular pavement. So those are just little things to consider when you're shopping around for tires.
And with those simple tricks to keep in mind, make sure that your fluid is topped up and your tires are ready to go for this long weekend. For Halton Insider, I'm Jennifer Nikolevski.